day. I'm starting to lose track of my days here. So today we are doing lesson 107. This is lines parallel to a given line, and then also equations of a line with a given slope. So we are going to start with parallel lines. So the problems will look something like this. Find a line parallel to the given line that passes through point -2, 3, okay? So this is the given line that they have given us. So we are trying to find on a graph if this is the slope of one of the lines, if this is one of the lines that's given to us, we want to find a line that is parallel to that. Remember, parallel lines are equal distance apart always. They never get closer together. Okay, so we are looking for a line that's parallel to that, but it passes through the point -2, 3. So they've given us these two pieces of information. This is one of the lines. We are trying to find the other line that is parallel to this, and this is one of the coordinates of that other line. So in order to do that, we first have to remember what our slope-intercept form is. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so m is always your slope, and then b is your y-intercept, where it crosses that y-axis. So in order to solve this, there's one thing that you need to know. So slope of lines that are parallel to each other, they are going to have the same slope. Okay, so by having this, I already have my slope for the other line, okay? Because the slope of the two lines is going to be the same. So if they are parallel, always remember they're going to have the same slope. So I'm going to replace in my formula, I'm going to replace that slope with the same slope that came from the first line that was given to us. So we've got y equals 2x plus b. Okay, so in order to solve this, super easy, you're going to take the line or the point that is given to you, and you're going to plug it in for the x and the y. So remember that the -2 will be the x, the 3 will be the y. So I'm going to replace my x with the -2 and the y with the 3, and then I'm just going to solve it. So I know that 2 times -2 is going to be 4, -4. So I've got 3 equals -4 plus b. And then we want to isolate that b to actually solve for it. So we're going to move that 4 to the other side of the equation. That'll give us +7 over here. So our b for this second equation is 7 equals b. So I'm going to plug that into my my slope-intercept form, okay? Because now we have solved for the line. We know the slope because it's the same slope as the first one, and then we have solved for our b. So this would be the equation for that second line. So we've got y equals 2x plus 7. So that is actually your complete answer. Okay, let's do another one. This time it says find the equation of a line passing through point -1, -3 that is parallel to 4x plus 3y equals 7. So what's different about this one is they do not already have this line in slope-intercept form. So remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So in order to first change it into that form, I've got to isolate the y. Okay, so I want to move everything else to the other side of the equation. So this is slope-intercept form. I'm trying to change the line that they have given us into slope-intercept form. So I am going to first move the 4x. So I'm going to move this 4x to the other side of the equation. So what we subtract from one side, remember we have to subtract from the other side. So we now have, we have canceled these two out. So then we've got, on this side of the equation, we've got -4x plus 7. And on this side we have 3y. So we're not quite finished because this y has to be by itself. So I need to move that 3. So I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by that 3. When we do that over here, these two cancel out, and I'm left with just y on that side of the equation. On this side, I'm going to be dividing -4 by 3 and 7 by 3. So we know that 4 is not divisible by 3. So it's going to give us an improper fraction. That is okay. Remember that its slope is rise over run. So that would mean that we would go up 4 over 3. Okay, right? So it's okay if we get an improper fraction with these. So we'll have -4x plus 7 over 3. So this is the equation of the line that is parallel to the line that we're looking for, okay? So we haven't solved it yet. We just simplified the line that they've already given us to make it easier for us to solve. Okay, so now I am looking for, that parallel line. So I know that the slope of these two lines is going to be the same. Remember, slope is right here. So we're going to end up having to make a line with this slope-intercept form. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that now. We've got y equals, and I replaced the m with what we know the m is, which is this -4 over 3, x plus b. So now we've got to solve for the b, because we've solved for the m. Now we have to solve for b. So I'm going to plug in the information that they gave us. They gave us this one point of that line, which is -1, -3. So I know that the -1 is my x, and the -3 is the y, okay? So we are going to replace the x and the y in this equation in order to solve for this line. So I've replaced the y with the -3, the x with the -1. And now I'm just going to be multiplying. So we've got -4 over 3 times -1. Anytime we have a negative times a negative, that's going to give us a positive product. So this will be a +4 over 3 plus b. And I am going to move this 4 to the other side of the 4 over 3 to the other side of the equation. So when we do that, I'm going to be subtracting, okay? I went ahead and changed this to a, remember that when you're subtracting and you are subtracting with fractions, you have to have a common denominator. So I went ahead and found the common denominator. Remember, you would put that over 1, -3 over 1, and then you would multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the same thing in order to get a common denominator. So I went ahead and did that. I multiplied the top and the bottom by 3 in order to give us the common denominator between these two. So we've got -9 over 3 minus 4 over 3. So looking at just our numerators, -9 minus 4 is going to give us -13 over 3 equals b. So then, now that we have our b and we have our m, we can plug them into the equation and solve. So we have y equals -4 over 3 minus 13 over 3. Okay, last thing. So we talked about parallel lines. Now we're going to do the equation of a line with a given slope. So these problems will look something like this. Find the equation of the line that passes through the point 3, 4 and has a slope of -3, 4. So they have given us this slope. So remember, we're going to put this into slope-intercept form. We're finding the equation of the line. So that is what we're going to use to find the equation of the line. So they have given us the slope. So remember, we're going to replace that m with the slope. So we have y equals -3 over 4 x plus b. So we've solved for slope. Now we've got to solve for the b, okay? So now we are going to plug in the point that they have given us, which is 3, 4. we're gonna plug in the x and the y for that 3, 4. So that's what I've done here. I put the y right here. I put the x right here. So we've got negative 3, 4, 3 over 4 times 3 plus b. So when we isolate that b, it's going to solve it for us. So then we will be able to have our complete equation. So I'm going to multiply our slope, negative 3 over 4 times 3. When we do that, I'm going to have to put that 3 over 1 because I'm going to see it as a fraction. So we've got negative 3 over 4 times 3. 3 times negative 3 is going to give us negative 9, and then the 4 will stay the same, plus b. So now I still have to isolate that b, which means I need to move this to the other side of the equation. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to take this and find a common denominator between this and this, okay? So I put the 4 over 1 out to the side over here. And then my common denominator between the two would be 4. So I multiply the top by 4 and the bottom by 4. So now we have 16 over 4 equals negative 9 over 4 plus b. And then I'm going to be adding that 9 over 4 to both sides because it is a negative. So when I do that over here, it's going to cancel out. And then I'm going to be adding 16 and 9, which will give me 25. So then we'll have 25 over 4 is the b. So we're not quite finished. We have to plug it all into the equation. We already knew the slope because they told us at the very beginning. So we have y equals negative 3 over 4x plus 25 over 4. And that is it. Okay, so what you're going to do for today is page 453. You're going to do numbers 6 through 18. When you finish, just snap a picture and text it to me so that way I know that you are finished. And have a great day. Good job, guys.